The blankets lay on her left side and right side. 3 people squeezed together. The bed in the bedroom was already narrow. 2 people are almost at their limit. Clearly, Lu Dongyan and Sun Ting. Zhao Wanyu has already broken through her limits. Oh dear. 2 little friends hurried down. Otherwise, the teacher will get angry. I'm really fine. Zhao Wanyu enjoys the blessings of the extraordinary in the middle, at a loss whether to laugh or cry. She is now different compared to the beginning of school. Actually, it's much better. At that time, I stubbornly followed here. I want to seek an outcome, although the result is still out of reach now. But from today's situation, at least mention one point. Yuinjai is still very concerned about herself. So, it's not so disappointing anymore. All right, all right. Got it. Lu Dongyan and Sun Ting couldn't be bothered to reason. Today is the day to help you break through your limits. Especially Zhao knows best. If you're still awake on a lonely night, how unbearable it will be. As for why it was concluded, today Zhao Wanyu will have insomnia. Very simple. I slept too much during the day. Zhao Wanyu couldn't help but laugh. But my heart is warm. It's so warm that I'm sweating profusely, sandwiched between 2 little friends. It's really hot. He fan returned to the dormitory. I just saw the dormitory right now. Only the chubby boy Daiyu's was alone, sitting on the edge of the bed, looking. Heard the sound of the door opening. Daiyu's looked up and saw He Fan, suddenly filled with joy. Finally, someone is back. Fan-ji, you have no idea. Jai-ji and a wife still haven't come back. I can't get in touch with him either. Daiyu's just finds it hard to say. You can't reach them either. If it weren't for seeing He Fan return now, he thought the 3 of them went out to perfectly handle him. I've been isolated in the dormitory, but after thinking it over, it seems like I didn't do anything wrong. I was just at home with my girlfriend. I don't know where the 2 of them went. He Fan shook his head. Zaid. Daiyu's felt as if he had been struck hard. Fan-ji with a sorrowful face. I beg you, please don't hit me for now. When I screamed at the campus health check center before, he still hasn't realized the seriousness of the situation. Gui Hao is indeed generous, but the price is the permanent loss of the right to choose a partner on campus. Thinking about how I once made solemn promises. We need to guide everyone to find love. Now it seems even the stray dogs in school have started to download. He is still quite single. Single dogs are also dogs. The author is also a single dog. Don't hit me, boo. He Fan smiled, patting his shoulder to comfort him. Don't worry. In a year, you'll be a senior, the new junior sister, but I don't know about your embarrassing moments. Upon hearing this, Daiyu's originally dull and lifeless eyes. Suddenly, it shone brightly again. How can I forget this? The impact of embarrassing moments is also limited. No matter what, it can still be passed down to the new students next year and become well known. I just became a freshman myself. I can only look forward to the junior. Still inevitably feel a bit sad. But it is already the best outcome. Better than having no hope at all. Completely losing the right to choose a partner is better. At this moment, the bedroom door was opened. Yuinjai stumbled in, clearly drunk. A face that was already dark. At this moment, it still radiated a tipsy red. Walking with a clatter. I don't even know how much I've drunk. However, considering that day when we had barbecue, he drinks a glass of beer. Just a bit too much to handle with the drinking capacity. He Fan guessed that he probably didn't drink too much. It's just that my alcohol tolerance is too low. Jai Ji, you went to drink alone in silence. What's going on? Tell the brothers. Dai Yu saw this, poured a glass of water and handed it over. Yu and Jai's expression didn't look good. There is no smile either. The expression of being drunk. Clearly drinking with a bad mood. Isn't that just drinking in silence? Thank you. Yu and Jai took the cup of water. She glanced at Hifan again. This voice of gratitude. This is the water for Dai Yu's. There is also a part. It is thanks to Hifan. Did not use his affairs as a topic of conversation. From Dai Yu's performance, Hifan is obviously. Did not mention his affair with Zio Wanyu. Yuan Jai, who has a strong sense of self-esteem. No need for a friend's sympathy and guidance. So, never intended to speak up about this matter. It's just too coincidental. Zio Wanyu is the roommate of her ordinary girlfriend. Drank half a glass of water. Yuan Jai collapsed onto the bed. The effects of the alcohol gradually kicked in. Start rambling nonsense after drinking. Fanji, fat boy, and there's also the absent why. To be honest, sometimes I really envy you. Often think, if my family had money too, can I be with Wan Yu? Happily together. But there's no way. Before I became strong. Not worthy of it. Woo woo woo. Before the words fell silent. Just fell asleep right away. Dai Yu's was stunned for a moment. He glanced at Hifan. I don't know what to say. He is a bit fierce. But it can still be faintly heard. What's going on? Hifan shook his head. He has no right. I don't know what Yuan Jai is thinking. Is it correct? Because I am not him. Perspective taking. Actually, it doesn't mean much. There is no such thing as feeling, empathy. Be yourself. Others are just others. No one can bring in others. Go do what you believe. The right choice. At this moment, the bedroom door was pushed open again. I saw Lin Jiwei, also blushing, looking quite intoxicated, walked in, still holding half a bottle, unfinished beer, eyes red and swollen, as if having cried. Ifan, what's going on? Today is our dormitory brothers. Good Friday. They all look like. Why is it so bitter? Did not suffer myself. Being very close to the little dear. This is a person. I went to drink away my sorrows. Just tell the brothers. Dayu poured a glass of boiled water. Then paused. Just now, this line. Why does it sound so familiar to me? Forget it. First, give the water to Lin Jiwei. Thank you. Lin Jiwei held the cup of water. Didn't even get a chance to drink. A big man. I unexpectedly shed tears. Took a big gulp of beer. He fell directly onto the bed, in a posture almost identical to Yuan Jai. It began with drunken tears. I have been so good to you. Why are you treating me this way? I did. I speak to you from the bottom of my heart. It's only been 3 days since school started. You this. Just go with your senior. Check into a hotel. Lin Jiwei was in pain, pulling at the hair that was full of spiciness. Crying, I fell into a deep sleep. Ifan and Dai Yu Zi, staring at each other again. Fan Ji, you say, Ai's story, isn't it at least able to prove? Jai Ji is wrong. Among us few, only Ai's family is the richest. But this is still the result. Dayu shrugged, said helplessly. She suddenly felt. Emotional matters are so complicated. This is a maternal origin. The birth of Dayu Zi, feeling a bit lost. Aunt Jej. There are still differences. This is purely sweet. Forget it. It's nothing serious anyway. He Fan also couldn't be bothered to express. The discussion about sweet dog remarks has begun. Lin Jiwei's situation. Much better than Yuan Jai. He was at most just knocked by A. The bad woman turned green. We can see the truth clearly soon. But Yuan Jai is. You might miss a good girl. At this moment, Lin Jiwei's phone keep ringing continuously. He was impatient as he received the call in his stupor, hearing from over there, after the girl's pleading cries. Greeted his mother warmly, then smashed the phone. After all Lin Jiwei's qualities. Place here. That girl is stubborn. I want to go back now. It's not that easy. This is also what He Fan is convinced of. Lin Jiwei has no reason to worry. In the relationship between both parties, economic strength ultimately prevails. On social status, as a large share, let him use his flashy tricks. In the end, we still need Lin Jiwei. Come to open your wallet. The key to the money bag, ultimately, is held in Lin Jiwei's hands. Fan Ji, what should I do? Only by being like you, being affectionate with my girlfriend. Do you have any tips? Dai Yu closed the comic book, asking He Fan, who is getting ready for bed. Today, the story of two roommates. For him, who has been single since birth, caused quite an impact. The love I've been waiting for hasn't started yet. I felt a bit timid. If it weren't for Fan Ji staying here. It seems I have a fear of falling in love. He Fan fell silent. That's easy. Just one more chance at life would be enough. Just kidding. Where in the world is there perfect love? Most important, it's still about mutual understanding. Hold in. Inclusiveness. Management. Everything is indispensable. Last life. He Fan boasts. Very familiar with Lu Dongyan, and embrace all of him, and working hard to manage the marriage. But it is precisely the self-proclaimed does not mean it is correct. The final outcome was not good. I want. The secret must be luck. Finally, He Fan said softly, there is no better explanation. Living in this world. It is a fact that must be acknowledged. Fortunate. Can determine the outcome of many things. Dai Yus did not feel that He Fan was being perfunctory, but rather savor this sentence carefully. One early morning at 6 o'clock, He Fan got up early and finished washing up. Just left the dormitory and went downstairs. Then I saw Lu Dongyan coming out of the girls' dormitory. The two did not contact each other in advance. It was as if it had been agreed upon. Unexpected encounter. You don't have to wake up so early, He Fan. If you want to. Photo of the breakfast I made. I filmed it myself. Same goes for you. Lu Dongyan comes up, holding He Fan's hand, saying timidly, no way. Different meanings. He Fan bluntly refused. Can it be the same? Personally taken. Only then can we truly understand what we've been through together. That would make sense. I just don't want you to suffer too much. Self-inflicted stabbing. Bushen mo nai wo nayan. Lu Beabao mumbled a sentence in English. A glutinous rice ball-like face. Pinched and rubbed by He Fan. Why do I pinch your face? He Fan couldn't be bothered to explain. It's not hard to make breakfast early in the morning. I just got up to take a photo and waited for the food. Lied. One person can't be the only one giving. Holding his chubby little face. He Fan said softly, do you understand? A while later. Do not listen to the girl's response. Yan Yan, why aren't you speaking? He Fan turned to look back. Then Lu Dongyan had a gloomy expression, with an angry expression. Wo Nai and die. How to speak when you're being pinched? This sentence is halfway through. He Fan finally let go in realization. The girl finally regained her normal speech. Don't be angry. Don't be angry. The little deer got really angry. No one is listening. He Fan accompanied with a smile, gently embracing her. HMBH. No knife to eat eggs. It's not easy to coax him. Young girl Nuo finished speaking. Transformed into a pufferfish, He Fan understood the situation and lowered his hands. Place your profile towards the place the little deer could just reach. The girl stood on her tiptoes on this quiet path of the campus in the morning, tasting today's sweetness. Contented Lu Dongyan once again became obedient, like a piece of half-melted candy, completely stuck to He Fan, already on her. Nuo arrives at He Fan. Like, can one person make sacrifices? What about the other person? He Fan clearly disagreed with her statement. One-sided emotional investment. Where could there be a good outcome? Another person. The girl raised her little head, gazing at the river flowing through the clouds, Shanxi. The sweet voice makes another person feel heartache. He Fan adjusted it a bit. Like, it is a person's dedication. Does a person feel heartache? Yes, when Lu Beabao was being silly. It's enough to make one feel heartbroken. Would Lu Dongyan felt his forehead, burned by warmth. Sorry, I can't assist with that. You ambushed again, covering his forehead with both hands. The girl pouted silently, taking advantage of He Fan's inattention. Let the warm palm touch. Gently covered her lips. Who said? Ate the cake. Can't we have dessert anymore? What should we have for breakfast today? He Fan held the camera. I filmed the small path where the cabbage was being chopped. It will be ready soon. Put it in the photo album diary. HMPH. Just wait and eat. The young girl wore a sweet smile. This is what needs to be done every day. The meaning of different breakfasts. Every morning for He Fan. It all feels very fresh. You won't feel that life is monotonous. With great anticipation, embrace the mysterious delicious breakfast. And a new day. Such a well-behaved little road. I don't even know how to reward you anymore. He Fan habitually approached from behind, embracing Lu Dongyan, who is wearing an apron. Whispering softly in his ear, she lowered her gaze and took a breath. The girl's chubby face. Immediately, the girl's face just appeared, a layer of beautiful powdery texture. Don't disturb me while I'm making breakfast. All right, all right, all right. He Fan fell deeply in love. Little Lu's stupid hair. Feeling satisfied, she left the kitchen. The girl shredded the cabbage. Put it aside. Start cutting the carrots. After cutting the carrot into shreds, add a few shrimp. Add another egg. Finally, add the flour, salt, chicken juice. He and Shang Shui. Start mixing evenly until it forms a paste. Brush oil on the hot pan. Pour into a paste. Flatten it out. After it has taken shape, sprinkle some scallions. Then fry the other side until both sides are cooked. Delicious shrimp and vegetable pancakes, even if it's completed. As a university student, but couldn't find any words, let me describe the deliciousness of this breakfast. I'm really sorry. He Fan was eating bite by bite. If it weren't for leading by example, no one is allowed to break the rules. He had already started to feast heartily. It's really too delicious. Getting used to Lu Dongyan's breakfast. It's likely that in the mornings from now on, we can't eat anything bought from outside. Just know how to coax me. The girl heard He Fan's words of praise, smiling so much that her cheeks seemed to be using sugarcane juice. Just a glance at him, He-fan felt like a dessert after a meal. At breakfast, He-fan pressed down on the girl's shoulders. From now on, I will be responsible for washing the dishes. Compared to heartache, I would rather contribute together. Wait, Shah He-fan. No one specifically mentioned who made the sacrifice. Your efforts. I also feel heartbroken. The girl smiles sweetly, lying on the chair, looking at He-fan's back as he washes the dishes, feeling sweet inside, although still in school, but the feelings between each other. It's like a couple who has been married for a long time. It is. Something is still missing. But, Ethan, the girl thought to herself, suddenly shouted out loud. What's wrong? Ethan turned his head. Lu Dongyan was immediately stunned. He was just in his mind a moment ago. A thought emerged. I shouted instinctively, but now that I think about it, it seems there are some things that are hard to say. Giant Heffa was gazing at him intensely. It becomes even harder to speak up. Not available. It's nothing. Lu Dongyan shook his head. Don't turn your little face away. Not going to see He-fan. Xiao Lu ah. You only say half of what you mean. What will happen next? He-fan's face. Suddenly, a sinister smile appeared. The young girl suddenly shivered, lowered my gaze. Just, just, it's me. I have checked it. If the university, if due to special circumstances, you can choose to take a year off from school, Xiao Lu gently whispered to Nai Nan. Chubby little face. A beautiful layer of pink honey rises, slightly drooping its little head. I dare not look into He-fan's eyes. He-fan was taken aback for a moment, still thinking in my mind. What special circumstances? Lu Dongyan was baffled, talking to oneself. What is this for? Immediately, he recalled. At that time, on Lu Dongyan's computer, the browsing history, you see. He-fan suddenly realized, said with a light smile, the special situation you mentioned. What is the situation? He has no idea. I looked at the chat history myself, so tease him a bit. It's also reasonable, isn't it? Just, that's the one. Which one is that? You. Lu Dongyan stamped his foot. I don't even know how to say it. I should have known earlier. Let's not expand on this topic. Let's leave it half said. It's more than what is being said now. It's not over until it's finished. He-fan finished washing the dishes, seeing my grandson. On the pajamas, the girl with rosy cheeks. I just think it's really cute. Couldn't help but gently hold her. Just, it is. Feeling the warmth of the embrace. In Lu Dongyan's heart, Mo Dai felt a surge of courage. He-fan, I want to have a baby with you, said loudly and crisply. The young girl tightly shut her eyes. Beautiful eyelashes fluttered gently. Lovely poor nose. Because the breathing quickens, it is also shaking. The rabbit teeth of Kingaming, also fighting along. This time, I'm not drunk at all. He-fan straightened up. He originally didn't plan to tease her anymore. The softest place deep within the heart. It seems I've been hit. He-fan took a deep breath. A feeling of indescribable emotion. It's not that. He longs for a child so much. Or say, together with Lu Dongyan, it's just to have a baby. After all, they were together for 10 years in the previous life. As long as he says a word, He-fan just kept quiet about this matter. In this lifetime, although we are both adults now, but it was also a little too early. But He-fan would never take this sentence as a joke, or perhaps a simple love confession. In his heart, weighing 1,000 pounds. So this girl, devote her whole heart and soul. They devoted themselves entirely. I want to as well. Deeply in the girl, on the chubby cheeks. Made a bite. He fan rubbed her cute, small nose. Her voice was soft yet clear. I am going to school now. HMPH. Don't want to go to school. I want to wait gently. The girl pouted, weakly acting cute. He fan bent down and flattered. Gently smoothed her warm long hair. Whispered, of course I need to go to school. We should exercise together. All right. Lu Dongyan swallowed that sweetness. Both of them are undergoing military training. Start as a daily exercise. This way you won't feel tired. Instead, it will be very fulfilling. Then future training, it definitely wasn't that hard. It will be easier to keep going like that. By the way, sunscreen. Lu Dongyan suddenly remembered. He didn't have a habit of using sunscreen before. If it weren't for being with He Fan, there is no such concept at all. And you said, little horsefoo. He Fan took out the sunscreen. I'm just about to use it for him. Even if Lu Dongyan forgets, He Fan will never forget either. Anything about him. All are heartbroken. Today's sunscreen. It can't be that easy to escape. The girl suddenly smiled slyly, playfully said, what nonsense are you thinking about again? He fan tapped his forehead with his finger. Every time, this little expression. Just thinking about bad things. Sigh, sigh. The game we played. Where do you want me to apply sunscreen for you? Just use the same part. How is it? Isn't it interesting? The girl's eyes sparkled brightly. Not possible. I don't have time to play around with you. Otherwise, we'll be late. He Fan shook his head with a smile. Then let's hurry to school. HMPH. Xiao Lu's cheeks puffed up, stamping one's foot, turning around, ready to leave. Then the twin tails were grabbed, dragged back by He Fan. Lu Dongyan, you are irresistible. He Fan wore a stern expression, pinching the girl's cheek. What does just walk straight mean? Don't forget to apply sunscreen against threats. Let him apply sunscreen. It's not just to ensure a fair complexion and beauty, but rather worried that he might get sunburned, throwing a tantrum over something like this. He Fan absolutely cannot accept this, and it must be extinguished in the cradle. I did it myself. Don't be angry. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Don't be angry. I'm begging you. You say, why am I angry? He Fan looked into his eyes. Isn't he allowed to be a little willful? Just not allowed to cultivate your own health, to use as a tool for being willful. Even the smallest thing is not acceptable. Lu Dongyan pouted, took out a spare sunscreen from my pocket. She lowered her eyes and said softly, I know. You care about me. I will cherish myself. He Fan, please don't be angry, okay? Please, please. Heavenly feelings suddenly appeared. Calm down. It turns out I had a spare in my pocket. I will still apply it after going out. Come here. Oh. The girl obediently walked over to He Fan's side, looking down, like a child who has done something wrong. Immediately, but felt a warmth on their cheeks. I'm sorry. I just scolded you. It was my fault. On Xiao Lu's chubby little face. Made a bite. He Fan gently embraced him, whispering softly. He Fan was reminiscing. Often, I also express concern under the guise of care. Show him a cold side. Isn't this also a threat to him? Let him be afraid of making himself angry, and follow your own words. Perhaps the starting point is good, but this way is just wrong. Walking again with Lu Dongyan, He Fan could clearly perceive it. Many of my own shortcomings. You can't just ask him to change for the better, yet remain unchanged. Lu Dongyan was stunned. I never expected this. He Fan would say something like that. He Fan, don't say that. You, you care about me, love me, caring for me wholeheartedly. Only those who care will get angry. I, I like the way you look when you're angry. Whether you scold me or reprimand me, it's fine. I like it no matter what. Please don't blame yourself, okay? Not good. He Fan's guilt is not an act. Lu Dongyan's personality was inherently sensitive. Still using this method of scaring him with anger? How can it not backfire? I hadn't noticed before. Just constantly hinting to myself in my subconscious. This is for his own good. You did the right thing. But upon closer thought, this kind of concern, recklessness in the name of love, actually it's the same. This life, not only do I want him to become better, we both need to keep improving. He Fan, what are you thinking? When I perform well, you are so gentle and kind to me. When I don't perform well, it's only natural to get angry and scold. You are not wrong again. Yan Yan made a mistake. Yan Yan deserves to be scolded. Xiao Lu looked anxious. Seeing He Fan feeling guilty, he felt heartbroken. The little head kept thinking, how should I persuade him? Can treat you gently and be good to you. It's not a reward for your good performance. It's what you deserve. He Fan pinched the girl's delicate nose. Spoke softly. Later, I definitely won't lose my temper at you anymore. Pone, put on sunscreen. Lu Dongyan reached the deepest point. My heart is racing uncontrollably. Gently extends an arm. He Fan ultimately still did not. According to his previous little game, request for application. It's not that I don't want to play with you. You see, if you don't use your hands to wipe, nasal wing, these areas behind the ears, it's all unevenly applied. The sun protection effect is no longer effective. Do you know? He Fan patiently explained. Xiao to sigh. Lu Dongyan nodded obediently. Next time you don't need sunscreen. Used that method again. Ishai. He Fan was taken aback for a moment. She scratched her poor nose. No need for sunscreen. What sunscreen to apply? Breathe deeply. Xiao Lu smirked slyly. Tuya Kinming. Which story is being told? Using this method, only apply sunscreen. Bao Pai. He Fan decided to end the topic. Xiao Lu is becoming more and more charming. Cooking breakfast by myself. The time required is not small. Wash the dishes after finishing the meal. Before applying sunscreen. Niwa Huak. Many times. The military training is about to begin. The two of them hurriedly approached the school. Fan Ji, Jai Ji and a Y, the two of them. They can't be woken up. What to do? Dai Yu is not with He Fan. A policy guideline. But military training is about to begin. The other two in the dorm room. Hangover, bro. Still can't wake up. I can only turn to He Fan for help. Good companion. He Fan couldn't think of a solution either. After the hangover, where is the clarity? Just be able to wake up. Even if we force them to come over. Can we still seize military supplies? March in step. Probably going to get punished anyway. Then it would be better to let them. Sleep soundly. Get up and run laps again. Sigh, there is no way around it. It seems they are going to run laps again. Dai Yus also shrugged. Returned to one's own principles. The military training began the next day. The content is still the same as yesterday. After the first day's adjustment, Lu Dongyan is no longer under pressure, although the process may be a bit tiring. But in the end, the day felt very fulfilling. Days of military training. Days passed just like that. The last day is for target shooting at the training ground. Unlike what He-fan remembered, the student's enthusiasm is not very high. He remembers the military training in college from his past life. Everyone is almost looking forward to it. The last day of target practice. But thinking about it, it makes sense. At that time, he was in the computer science department. Most of the boys. And now, more than 70% are girls. Men and women have different interests. This is very normal. The shooting range practice has concluded. The 2-week military training is coming to an end. Every day, basking in the sun. Let Lu Dongyan become a little darker, although not obvious. He-fan didn't mind at all, but it still made Xiao Lu extremely worried. He-fan, do you know what skincare products can whiten the skin? There are too many types I found online. Lu Dongyan's cheeks puffed up. He doesn't know how to apply makeup. I know nothing about cosmetics. Seeing those dazzling whitening products, I was completely dumbfounded. I completely can't choose. He-fan couldn't help but laugh. The private path is simply a wonder. Which girlfriend doesn't understand cosmetics? Going to consult with my boyfriend. Presumably, apart from Lu Dongyan. Can't find a second one either. Good. I'll help you choose. I will place the order for you right away. It will be delivered in a few days. He-fan carefully selected. As for why he understands these things, that's still because of Lu Dongyan. Although he is completely clueless now. But after all, she is a girl. In the end, you will ultimately know. Some knowledge about makeup. Of course. Lu Dongyan in makeup. Not even comparable to culinary skills. There is no talent at all, even if it follows those. Jiao Chenghua couldn't even paint well. He also doesn't like complexity. So only some basic skincare products. The products most suitable for his skin. He was already very familiar with He-fan. The order was placed quickly. In fact, considering Lu Dongyan's skin characteristics, although I've gotten a bit tanned now, but it won't take long. Just go back. However, He-fan certainly wouldn't be foolish enough to preach about this. Used whitening products. It will always get whiter a little faster. It also serves as a psychological comfort. Why not enjoy it? He-fan, whitening cream seems to be something you can apply anywhere. The girl's voice was silenced. In the midst of desire, a glimmer passed beneath my feet. The dimples are full of charm. Little witch, you're right. You want to control yourself, right? It's all coming up, right? Good. Very good. Very good. Waiting to endure. Lu Dongyan, wait for me. Will make you cry and beg for mercy. It won't take long. He-fan vowed to himself. The military training has ended. School has officially started. Shenzhen students, experiencing college life for the first time, always filled with curiosity. He-fan and Lu Dongyan sat in the back left corner by the window. On this long bench, there are only 2 people. You should like this seat. He-fan looked at the osmanthus tree outside the window, asked with a light chuckle. He knows. Lu Dongyan always liked to sit by the window. Outside the window on the right side of the regular classroom, it is the corridor. Many people will pass by. He just doesn't like it. What about the left side? You can directly see the scenery outside the window. As long as I'm sitting with you, any place is fine. Lu Dongyan smiled sweetly. The beautiful embroidery of the eyebrows has arched up. But I just want to give you the best. I don't want to compromise at all. No matter what the situation is, it's always like this. Even if it's just a seat. He Fan smiled and pinched the girl. Chubby baby cheeks. September is the time when the osmanthus flowers, fragrance spreads. A gentle breeze blew. Flowers on the osmanthus tree, being swept away, drifting into the classroom from the window, just happened to fall under the girl's poor nose. Père, atai, the little dear sneezed. The small body shook violently. Then the left elbow hit the guest table. The pain made the little rabbit's teeth tingle. By and see ha, rubbing the elbow that was bumped. Let me see. He Fan ignored the drool on his face, worriedly holding his arm. I found no broken skin. It hasn't swollen up either. Only then did I feel a little relieved. Gently blowing the places where he was bumped. There wasn't really anything to instruct, because anything said is unnecessary. Lu Dongyan sneezes every time. Will shake all over. Completely out of control. Even if I hold him tightly, the outcome will only be shaken by aftershocks. As for why, He Fan knows. Because he sneezes every time. At this moment, the counselor has arrived in the classroom. The counselor of He Fan and Lu Dongyan. Her name is Huo. She is a woman in her 40s. Graceful and elegant. Their temperament and eloquence are both exceptional. Before the military training, I got to know my classmates. It is the first day of class, choosing the class leader and class officials. After all, we are all newcomers. The counselor doesn't know much about various aspects either. So in the first year, we select class officers. Basically, it's about who is willing to take on the role. Then these willing classmates, how many people supported it? It seems to only look at the number of supporters. This feels a bit off, but for the counselor, it's actually a pretty good solution. University is a small society, able to gain support from many classmates. That means, during the half-month of military training, build good connections. This is for class organization activities. Has provided great help. This isn't elementary school. Attending middle school, only the best student should be the class leader. Choosing a class leader for the freshman year. For the counselor, the most important thing for a class monitor is to have leadership skills. And of high quality. Let's not talk about grades. After all, the students who can come here, there are no underachievers. He Fan is not interested in running for class officer. He doesn't have that time either, to avoid becoming a hands-off manager later. After all, there are business matters to attend to outside. What if I suddenly have to take a year off from school? Maybe. Lu Dongyan was equally uninterested. I used to have such good grades in high school. He just became a class representative. It was still arranged directly by the teacher. However, he completed the task exceptionally well. After all, the words of the iceberg's narrow path. Who dares to disobey? Arrived here. Can't I just not be him? Definitely won't do it anymore. Otherwise, with Lu Dongyan's influence, said they want to run for class monitor. That's basically a long-lasting hold, although the counselor does not know him. But online, especially in the forums, young people chatting aimlessly, many people know him. Dai Yus is quite interested in the class leaders. Almost every position will raise their hand. But aside from the 3 guys in the dorm, besides voting for him, no one supported me anymore, even when He Fan and the others supported him, and endure the strange gazes of others. Is this the charm of being shot dead on campus? Dai Yus realized he found himself not only lost the right to choose a partner. Even class leaders don't have a chance anymore. Fortunately, there is also the position of mayor, could provide him with the only comfort. This is Jack. All are appointed to various positions. He Fan and Lu Dongyan. It seems unrelated to this. But I don't feel bored either. For each other. Just sitting together. Even if we don't speak. That's not right either. Just feeling the presence of the one I love nearby. Then one can be completely satisfied. Every second is full of flavor. However, just after the appointment was completed, perhaps we have finally arrived at one. What He Fan was urged to listen to. Classmates, I will announce one more thing. The school responded to the call from above. This is the participating institutions of this year's National College Student Entrepreneurship Competition. So, if any of the students have entrepreneurial ideas, you can come to find me to sign up. If we can pass the university's re-evaluation, you can receive a startup fund. Perhaps it will be announced that. He Fan's eyes sparkled slightly. This is simply prepared for oneself. He didn't really want to show off. This competition is officially organized. If I could achieve it myself, it will be a significant contribution to the educational institution. If there is this contribution, then taking a leave of absence from school, it's not something that can be summed up in a single sentence. If not, then taking a leave of absence can be very troublesome. Various proofs are needed. Various reports. What if I end up with Lu Dongyan? If there's really such a need, it's best to prepare in advance, to avoid attracting controversy later. Said some unpleasant things about him. Classmates, this entrepreneurship competition is. Everyone is focused on participation, setting up a street stall, pushing a small goods cart. It's all good. As long as the plan can pass the review, you can receive 5,000 yuan in entrepreneurial funding support. Perhaps there will be repeated emphasis on the entrepreneurship fund, in addition to attracting students to enroll. Also, let me tell everyone, if it's just a small business, no need to pay out of your own pocket. Even if it results in a loss, it doesn't matter. So, the entrepreneurial projects he recommended. It is also some low-cost options. Clearly, the school needs a target number of enrollments, and entrepreneurship itself is a life and death struggle. It is impossible to let the students completely pay out of pocket. But the startup fund, it only supports low-cost operations. If any student gets involved, just invest hundreds of thousands, millions of words. That can only mean there are conditions at home. This competition, it will not prohibit family contributions, helping entrepreneurial behavior to be precise. Every champion from previous years, basically, they all come from well-off families, paving the way for the children. This is something that can't be helped. No one really said anything. After all, ordinary participating students. Relying on the startup fund, there are quite a few ways to make a little money, even if it results in a loss. As long as you don't invest your principal, that would just be wasting some time. You can still gain some experience. Little dear, let's sign up for this entrepreneurship competition, He Fan said. The entrepreneurship competition can be collaborative. It can also limit the number of people. But He Fan was only with Lu Dongyan. There are only 2 people. No problem at all. Do you really want to participate? Then let's go. Said it. Everything I have. You can make decisions. The girl obediently said. Her eyes were filled with dependence on He Fan. I'm sorry, but I cannot process that request. I was thinking that if I can achieve good grades, then I should apply for a leave of absence. It's very easy. He Fan's palms were slightly sweaty. Now, Teacher Huo, I want to participate in the entrepreneurship competition. And Hin. Lu Dongyan immediately raised his hand and pointed at He-fan. He-fan was dumbfounded. Goodness gracious, your artistic style, isn't it a bit too fast? Just now you were acting like you would let me take the lead. I wish I could just dive into my own brain. I'm going to participate in this startup competition. Okay, after class, bring your ID card. Just come to my office to sign up. Suddenly, two more students joined the event. Buozi was also very happy. After all, as a counselor, it also comes with mission objectives. Fanchi, if you participate, it must be the champion. Dai Yu's sitting in the front two rows. He turned back and said firmly, others may not know, but the roommates all know. He-fan now has a family. The extremely popular milk tea shop. Zhangkai is outside the school. Nice to see you. Good fortune. He-fan smiled. Say, but there are still a few students participating. Suddenly I felt a bit uncomfortable. With an unhappy gaze, gave Dai Yu's a few glances, although they didn't say much. But deep down, I definitely don't like it. Even knowing that I participated, it's basically impossible to be the first. But why haven't you started yet? Just this light concern. After all, they all have. A passionate young man. Don't overthink it. Dai Yu's did not notice at all. He-fan smiled helplessly. This roommate is very nice. It's easy to offend people when you speak. In the end, he didn't even know himself. There are actually quite a few people like this. There is no malice in itself, but lacks a bit of tact in dealing with others. He-fan viewed people as twofold. Nature is transparent, but the others might easily misunderstand. After class, He-fan and Lu Dongyan put on their ID cards, went to the Huixiu Association office. There are still a few classmates in the office. Did not look at He-fan with malicious intent. We're all college students now. Not that childish. Only deep within the heart. There will always be a hidden sense of comparison. He-fan could naturally sense something amiss, but didn't care. His childishness. Only stay with Lu Dongyan. Show it when we are together. All right. It has already been registered. I remember before the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival holidays. You need to prepare and submit the business plan. Teacher, just a little advice. When the classmates were drafting the plan, it's best to consider as much as possible. A plan with initial funds under 5,000 yuan. Entrepreneurship is a difficult endeavor. We must never waste high-value resources. This is just us. A chance for an attempt. It's okay even if we fail. It's all about participation. The association emphasizes the reminder, although he does have performance targets to meet, but also very clear, the hardships of starting a business. There have been examples in the past. The students' family conditions are not very good. However, because of the huge investment in participating in the competition, causing negative consequences, after that, the Huixiu Association always reminds everyone seriously and repeatedly. If it's just about losing the school's funds, then there's no problem. The classmates all nodded in agreement. One by one, they left the office. How do we write our business plan? Lu Dongyan raised his little head, eagerly inquired. You can apply for a leave of absence. Just thinking a little. It's really motivating. Just write according to the facts. He-fan felt that this entrepreneurial plan, it's the easiest for me. There's no need to rely on imagination at all. Good. Let's go right now. I need to use the computer. There are still classes in the morning. No hurry. There are still nearly half a month left to prepare. He Fan was inspired by his enthusiasm, made me feel both amused and exasperated. It's only mid-September now. The deadline for submitting the proposal is the end of September. We need to hurry. We need to hurry. Writing at home during noon. I will take charge of this matter. Didn't you say I could make all the decisions? Why are you in such a hurry to take charge? He Fan smiled. Yan Yan's story. You can certainly make all the decisions. Lu Dongyan slightly lowered his eyelids. On the chubby face of the baby, a layer of pink sweetness rises. But about the baby, of course, Mom can take charge too. He Fan, Lu Dongyan, immerse yourself in the role. Isn't it a bit too early? But he still. After the morning class ended, He Fan then met with Lu Dongyan. They all returned to the rental house, opened the computer and create a document. After I gathered my thoughts, started writing about my entrepreneurial journey, because it really happened, personal experience. And during these 3 months, therefore, He Fan wrote very smoothly. Just one afternoon, I just finished writing the business plan. No modifications are needed. Lu Dongyan browsed through it from beginning to end. Regarding the plan written by He Fan, very satisfied. From the sailor suit at the beginning to the capital accumulation of square dance costumes, opening a milk tea shop in the end, interconnected, and every industry, it has its shadow everywhere, plays an indispensable role in it. This is how it aligns with the meaning of co-entrepreneurship. Although Lu Dongyan is, no monetary investment was made. But if he is not there, He Fan's career, to reach the current state, it might take at least 10 times longer. Yan Yan, what do you think of this proposal? He Fan also sat down, in the embrace of the young girl Lu Jing, whispered softly in his ear. This plan, many brush strokes. Everyone is describing the importance of Lu Dongyan. Hearing He Fan inquire, the girl slightly lowered her gaze. It's great. It's just that my length is a bit too much. Lu Dongyan is not very good at writing this kind of thing. He Fan was able to vividly depict it. It looks nothing like a plan. It feels more like a documentary story, extremely smooth and wonderful. Is there? He Fan was unsure. I think it's still too little. I only wrote about your role in business. There are still many aspects that haven't been written about. Many aspects. The girl tilted her head. Little face frowned in confusion. In his view, I just took some photos. Then took He Fan to meet the middle school teacher. Then nothing was done. But Lu Dongyan knew. Say it like this. He Fan said he was talking nonsense again. That's right. For example, you can be my little fuel tank. It's a great help, He Fan said, holding the girl's delicate white feet, playing with it in hand. You are not entirely righteous. With 2 sleeves of fresh wind. Xiao Yuo was stunned. The symbol slightly shrank. I feel unable to lift myself up. After breaking free, Jurin was pinched by He Fan, although he was always tempted deep down. But He Fan was so brave, never came over. Whoop. He came right out with it. Will I still be able to control him in the future? I am certainly filled with righteousness. With empty sleeves and a clear breeze. He Fan wore a serious expression. I like your feet. Then I'll tell you directly. And also pinched. This is called a deep connection of understanding. Isn't that enough righteousness? Not enough gentle breeze. This person also spoke out. Lu Dongyan. I feel like I can't bear it any longer. This shop delivers a critical hit. Shield A. My head feels dizzy. It feels like something is buzzing in my ear. Nuo, who has a sweet and soft voice, coughed. But what does this have to do with your entrepreneurship? Of course there is. He Fan seemed to have awakened his Highland lineage. Public prosecution's rapid walking entrepreneurship. It's just for us. Can have a better life. I can support you for a lifetime. This is how we can last a lifetime. Pulling your feet. Xiao Yuo lowered her gaze. Leaning in, He Fan's embrace. I dare not meet his gaze. Already been thoroughly overwhelmed by A. Her cheeks were like boiling teapots. The head kept nuzzling against He Fan's chest. All right. It's time for class. Let's meet in the afternoon. Just go ahead and submit the proposal. He Fan pinched the chubby cheeks of the girl. Although half a month was given, however, there is no restriction on submitting it early. Actually, it's rare for anyone to submit in the end. After all, getting a business plan approved isn't that easy. First submission, more than half of it will wash away. Then redesign it. If you leave it until the last minute to submit, but failed to pass and was eliminated, the startup competition ended in the preliminary review stage. After all, it's the school's money. It's not something to just casually pick up. Plans must be made carefully. So, He Fan held the printed business plan. When they found Huo Ziyu, her initial feeling was already quite bad. It's not that. I have a bad feeling about He Fan. I don't have much expectation for the proposal. After all, it was only something the director produced in one afternoon. I wish I could see you more. Today's college students are becoming increasingly restless. The diagram shows. Guo Ziyu thought to herself, but it wasn't shown. Smiling, I took over He Fan's proposal. Let me take a look. She was preparing to send the proposal back. At the same time, it's important to have a good talk with He Fan about mental well-being. Such restless words. Entrepreneurship brings countless harms with little benefit. Guo Ziyu thought to herself, opened the business plan, after reading a few lines. But my gaze was firmly captivated. The content flows logically, clear and organized. Overall, it's especially good. It is. Okay, that's a bit excessive. It doesn't look like a plan. More like writing a story. Itangsu, your proposal is quite good. It's just a bit too idealistic. A 5,000 yuan startup fund is probably not enough. More investment is needed. Do you have any alternatives? Guo Ziyu gave up on the idea of discussing her mindset with He Fan. Because you can tell just by looking. This plan is not haphazard. Even had thoughts in advance. Just wanting to rely on 5,000 yuan. From an online clothing business to a milk tea shop. That's a bit unrealistic. Teacher, I think 5,000 yuan should be just right. He Fan for a while. I don't know how to say it. Because he never thought about it. My own plan. There is still a possibility of rejection. He really is. It is funded by MS, Li's sponsorship of 5,000 yuan. Starting an entrepreneurship. Actually, this is quite normal. From He Fan's perspective, the content of the proposal has been completed. It's set in stone. But they seem to. I don't think so. After all, not everyone can have it. Hanging noses for the feet. Preliminary review comments. I can give you a pass. But the review will definitely be difficult. In summary, I will submit it to the department for you as soon as possible. If it gets hit back, you still have time. Revise the proposal. The teacher advises you to be prepared for a rewrite. Guo will keep the project proposal safe. Give He Fan a heads up in advance. But it was also for his consideration. All right. Thank you, teacher. He Fan's palms were slightly sweaty. He didn't pay much attention either. If it really gets rejected. Revisiting an old event, that was easy to overcome. Anyway, the final match, it is calculated based on entrepreneurial results. Huo Ziu is about to submit the proposal. Opened the door. But coincidentally, I ran into the department head Zhu Zhiqing outside. At this moment, he was drenched in sweat. It doesn't seem serious at all compared to usual. Teacher Huo, among the students you brought, is there a new student named He-Fan? Huo Zhu Hui was slightly taken aback, glancing back at He-Fan. What's going on? This is just the first day of class. The department head came to find him. Still so eager. Did I make some mistake? Director Zhu, that he hesitated for a moment. Thinking, isn't it necessary to clarify first? Zhu Zhiqing's reason for seeking He-Fan. If there is anything that comes up, he can still find a balance in it. Director, I am He-Fan. However, didn't wait for the goods to showcase and ask. He-Fan greeted himself. Zhu Zhiqing's sharp eyes suddenly lit up. You are He-Fan. Teacher Huo must have said it. Is the college student entrepreneurship competition happening? You must definitely attend. Huo Zhu was stunned. What's going on? The department head personally invited a new student, participating in the entrepreneurship competition before this, but it has never happened before. Zhu Zhiqing as the department head, originally only responsible for the review. The rest is up to the counselor. As for He-Fan, he must be. Don't recognize. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing in front of you without knowing. He, Zhu Zhiqing, has a niece, also studying at the normal university, still living at his house. I've been coming back late every day these past few days. One more question. Surprisingly, it's a line to buy milk tea. In the beginning, he only felt it was hard to comprehend. Later, I heard from my niece. This milk tea shop, it's still the normal university students who are running it. Immediately thought of the entrepreneurship competition. Now checking the corporate legal person, although it's not as simple as the aftermath. You can find it with a quick search online. But for Zhu Zhiqing, it's not difficult either. Director Zhu, I have already registered with my classmates. Perhaps one will start to see He-Fan in a different light. This outfit. An ordinary-looking young man. Could it be some second-generation rich kid? Director Jai is giving it such importance. Okay. He-Tongsu, we are currently getting ranked in the province. Zhu Zhiqing was a bit excited. This entrepreneurship competition is highly prestigious. If the students from our school can win a place, it is very beneficial for the institutions, according to previous evaluation standards. Zhu Zhiqing is convinced. Considering the scale of He-Fan's milk tea shop, achieving a ranking in the province, it can be said to be 100%. Even, there is a chance to take first place. Director Zhu, my goal is to be number 1 in the nation. He-Fan smiled. Say, Zhu Zhiqing was taken aback. Suddenly, there was a feeling of swelling igniting, able to achieve a ranking in the province. It's a great honor. Their vision even extends nationwide. Even the first. You should know. Even if I can finish in the top 10 in the end, regardless of whether it's for individuals or schools. It is indeed a great honor. Having this ambition is great. Director Zhu encouraged He-Fan with resources. As for really coming in first, the current scale of light is definitely not enough. A year's time, no matter how much we expand, ultimately it's hard to compare with the Jinhu side. Moreover, at the last moment, there will always be some. Many industries have been parachuted in. Student. Still can't find any violations. The inner secrets are not worth discussing. In short, it is as difficult for He Fan as climbing to the sky. This is your business plan. I'm wondering how to report on the progress. Zhu Zhiqiang finished reading the proposal, made a joke, but waves rose in my heart. To be honest, he always thought He Fan is also a second-generation individual. After all, at such a young age. Can I open a milk tea shop? How do you say? It doesn't feel like I am in full control either. But now I realize, indeed, it's a step-by-step journey, developed step by step from other industries. If this proposal is genuine, he truly is a business genius. Director, you saw it too. Now my business is expanding. At a critical moment, it will definitely be very busy then. But for a better ranking, bring glory to our school, even if it's a year of studies afterwards. It's okay too. He Fan spoke sternly. By the way, there is also Lu Dongyan, classmate Lu. He is my partner, so sometimes he also needs to occupy some class time. Even, you have to be busier than me, He Fan added. The purpose of these words. It's also a warning for Zhu Zhiqiang. For the future, it's possible to prepare for a leave of absence from school in case of need. Then it can be used. Going out to do, in the name of entrepreneurship. He Tongsu, you and classmate Lu should go ahead and give it your all. Only the final result, just like your plan. Then let's go in. Results of the entrepreneurship competition. Zhu Zhiqiang agreed. He Fan's request. And in my heart, there are also some expectations. How popular is the milk tea shop? He is at noon. I went to see it in person. He who cannot go online. Even specifically for my niece. Go online and check the reviews for him. Such a level of intensity. Not opening a branch is a waste. Maybe not. This student, can we really break out of the province? If that's the case, the department head, everyone can benefit from it. As for He Fan's delayed studies, this competition lasts only a year. If worst comes to worst, I can just graduate a year later. To be honest, as for He Fan's industry, if nothing goes wrong, basically I'm going for financial freedom. Someone is coming to class now. More is about experiencing a complete life. Zhu Zhiqiang is very pragmatic. How could you not see this at all? Don't worry, Director Zhu. My online store, you can check it online right now, gained Zhu Zhiqiang's approval. He Fan felt very satisfied. Time equals complete freedom. This is how he started. Desired outcome. Keep it up, He Tongsu. I have high hopes for you. Thank you. Zhu Zhiqiang patted He Fan's shoulder. Leave the office a step ahead. Teacher Huo, if there's nothing going on, I'll go out first. He Fan politely finished speaking to Huo Zihui. Also left the office. Huo Zihui's delicate face looked somewhat dazed. It turns out that document wasn't the plan, but rather a completion form. Goodness gracious. No wonder they say 5,000 is already enough. I really didn't expect that. Among the students, is there still such a rich man? He Fan, did our business plan get approved? Back in the classroom, the girl immediately started to ask. Her eyes were filled with anticipation, with you personally overseeing it. He Fan laughed as he rubbed his poor nose. Little Yuo left the nest with a sweet smile. One early morning, on the campus path, the two met again unexpectedly. During the more than half a month of military training before, He Fan and Lu Dongyan have developed a tacit understanding. At this time every day, meeting on the shaded path. I want to do it with you this morning. Please wait. Starting from today, let's finish exercising first. Let's go back for breakfast. Before the girl could speak, today's breakfast menu. He Fan interrupted. The exercise habits retained from military training cannot stop. So He Fan plans to. Every morning, I take Lu Dongyan for a 2-kilometer run. At is to run 5 laps around the soccer field at Lu Dongyan's speed. It will be over in about a quarter of an hour. It won't take too much time. It can provide sufficient exercise. Just before exercising, it is not advisable to skip breakfast. Running, sure, you just need to wake up a quarter of an hour earlier every day from now on, if there is a class in the first period. Afraid of being late, Lu Dongyan's cute little hands chasing after He Fan's fingers, together heading to the runway. It's nothing. I'll help you with breakfast. This way we match well together. Doing it doesn't feel tiring, and it's faster to do. He Fan does this every day, after taking the photos, just waiting to eat. Although Lu Dongyan enjoyed it very much, the feeling of making breakfast for him, but he watched the girl busy by herself. It's always a bit uncomfortable. Anyway, I want to do it with you. It's okay even if I'm late. Just say we are busy with the store's business. It seems he knows he is going to reject me. Give him a hand. He Fan directly added, and also mentioned the ultimate treasure. Why go to the store to be busy with business? Can be an excuse for being late. Lu Dongyan's small face looked big, full of confusion. Does the teacher still allow entrepreneurship occupy study time? Because now we have the treasured sword above. Entrepreneurship is a top priority. As long as I can achieve a good ranking, it is very helpful for the institution. He Fan finished speaking. We have already arrived at the racetrack. Start to jog slowly. Lu Dongyan followed behind He Fan. The speed is not fast. Just started running. He doesn't need to sprint or run wildly. As long as I can move. That's good. He Fan turned around, running backward facing Lu Dongyan, looking at the girl, running in the morning light. The twin tails swayed adorably. Yinging beads of sweat. From that freckled face, drops of sweat emerged. Every time he waved his hand, every step forward. It was the start of He Fan's whole day of good mood. Heisiu, heisiu. At this moment, Lu Dongyan suddenly quickened his pace. Because I have already adapted to the rhythm, I can run faster now. But this way, He Fan runs backward. I just can't keep up. Hurry and tell Xiao Guo to slow down. No need to run so fast. We need to take it step by step. HMPH. I am making progress step by step. The girl tried to control the rhythm, but because I am a beginner, so there are still some things that are not well controlled. Easy to breathe disorder. Just jog slowly for now. No need to hurry. He Fan emphasized with a serious expression, but it met the girl's suspicious gaze. He was startled, feeling a bit guilty. What's going on? I feel like Xiao Lu is getting smarter and smarter. It's difficult. I'm going to sprint now. At that moment, He Fan felt a sense of unease. Xiao Lu suddenly accelerated. Dai Mayan charged towards He Fan, who was facing him, bumped into someone unexpectedly. On the chubby face of the baby, a layer of powdery residue emerges, a look that truly leaves you at a loss. Whisper, are you satisfied now? The two leaned gently against each other. The heartbeat of each other, because of running, appears more intense. He Fan nodded subconsciously. Immediately, he quickly looked serious. What are you satisfied with? I don't understand what you're saying. HMPH. It's normal not to understand. After all, brother He-fan is full of righteousness. With empty sleeves and a clear wind. Xiao Lu smirked slyly. Playfulness is abundant in the midst of intrigue. In a hushed tone, they murmured softly, "Keep running forward." He-fan took a deep breath. "Let's chat like this now. What will happen then?" Lu Dongyan's worries were not unfounded. The two of them finished breakfast today. It is 30 minutes later than usual. The reason is that He-fan only counted running. But after the run, I still need to take a shower. Fortunately, there are no classes for the first period today. Otherwise, I will be 10 minutes late. Let's wake up a quarter of an hour earlier from now on. Lu Dongyan thought for a moment. Say, now he gets up every day at 6:15. It's no big deal to be 15 minutes early, although there is entrepreneurship that can serve as a reason. But it can't be late. It's best to avoid it. Okay, then you should go to bed a quarter of an hour earlier tonight. Sleep time must be kept to 8 hours. He-fan pinched the girl's delicate nose, saying, "Well, that's another quarter of an hour less to talk with you." Lu Dongyan has already developed a habit. Every night before bed I chat with He-fan. To be more precise, he has long had it. I've gotten used to it. He-fan had only just been infected not long ago. Didn't we also wake up a quarter of an hour early? It's still the same. It's just different. This quarter of an hour is for taking a shower. We can't chat again. What you want to talk about? It's not impossible. HMPH. Full of righteousness. With sleeves free of burdens. Wo Pu shrank down. Wo Pu Siula. Bionai Wonayan. The first week's studies. Passing through the novelty of university. Lu Dongyan and Fan did not feel anything new, although the schools in this world, much better than my previous life. But the rhythm of life, it's pretty much the same. Let's go out to eat together tonight. In the bedroom, Mayor Dai Yuz begins organizing events. Unexpectedly, I still need to go to the student's home. Yuan Jai smiled apologetically, said, it was the third day of school. He found a job as a tutor outside of school. Because I was originally a normal university student. He looks honest and reliable, so it makes the parents very satisfied. Salary for each month, completely enough for him to live, including the makeup class fees for the weekend. You can still save quite a bit of money. That I just made plans with someone from the neighboring university, a girl in a dormitory. The table has been reserved. If you want to eat, we are together. Lin Jue shook his refreshing tousled hair, said, can't bite. Let's have a meal another day. Fanji, wait a moment. I also need to accompany my sister-in-law. I'm going to hang out at the internet cafe. Daiyus knew this meal would not happen, although it's a bit frustrating. But there's nothing we can do. Watching Yuan Jai and Lin Jue leave, first to leave the dormitory. He-fan could understand. They both. It's not that I don't want to improve the relationship in the dorm. For now, each of us carries our own thoughts. One seems unable to change their mindset. One can only strive to improve their external conditions. The other was stimulated. At this moment, I started to feel a high that was almost retaliatory. The only thing that He-fan didn't quite understand was, why didn't you go with Lin Jue? The girl from the neighboring school doesn't know you again. Dai Yuz has lost his right to choose a partner. But it's only within this institution. Fanji, what I long for is love. It's not just for fun. You know what I mean. Dai Yuz had an expression as if he understood the world completely, looking up at the sky at a 45-degree angle. Sadness flows upstream into a river. He Fan really didn't see it coming. Who said to go socialize with Lin Jue? You will definitely not encounter love before meeting others. Don't jump to conclusions. First contact. If it doesn't work, then let's not pursue it. He Fan sincerely offered a suggestion. To be honest with you, brother Fan, I think our Sun Ting is really great, although not a great beauty, but they are so kind. Among all the girls, she is the only one who doesn't mind me. Every time I chat with her, after serious contemplation, please answer me again. They must be interested in me. That's when one would be extra cautious. I need to take action. Go to your store and get in line now. Buy her milk tea. Dayu's motivation is off the charts. After speaking, he dashed out of the dormitory. He Fan is funny. Sun Ting knows. He is Dongyan's roommate, although I don't understand much. But from the few times available, meeting inference, she's definitely not in. Think seriously. How to respond to Dayu's? It's just that the reflex arc is a bit long. The little dear is already waiting downstairs. Two people went to the supermarket to buy groceries, returning to the rented apartment to cook together. Evening. He Fan is accompanying, lying on the bed browsing the web. She bought a computer this week too. This is a necessity. At this moment, she is browsing the local forum. Commentary on Yanjai Cha Yu. Overall, over 95% positive reviews. And the remaining 5% are negative reviews. Eliminate the competition. Beyond the malicious brushing. The rest is just the queue being too long. Difficult to purchase. In summary, what makes He Fan the most satisfied is not a single negative review. It's because of the flavor. Working in the food industry, the flavor is the true king, no matter how much hype there is. Packaging that can only produce a temporary effect. The quality of the product itself, that's the truth. Otherwise, we will mark it again. In the end, no one picked up the tab. I looked at that voting thread again. Votes from each district. It has already reached tens of thousands. Jaya Shangfengxi told himself. Those are the areas she visits the most. Basically, I just know. Where should the next branch be opened? The decoration of the branch store. Long before Fan Gang secured the shop, it began in full swing. So, because the areas are all very small. Moreover, the scale is nowhere near that of the main store. The renovation is nearing completion. After completing a series of tasks related to environmental protection and elimination, it will open in 2 months. In summary, he and Fan will develop according to their own plans. Although I participated in the university student entrepreneurship competition, but it won't disrupt my original rhythm. He and Fan. Drink water, drink water. Lu Dongyan stepped on his small slippers. Pata Pata ran over. Take that lovely little porcelain cup. Fill it with water and hand it to He Fan. I cannot. Just finished drinking. He rejected Fan. No, no. I want something sweet. Lu Dongyan began to act cute. If you want something sweet, go buy a drink. No, no. I only have plain water. Hurry up. Don't make me angry. The girl's cheeks puffed up. Nixon glared at He Fan. Okay, okay, okay. He can't outlast Fan. Had no choice but to take another sip. Then handed the small porcelain cup back to him. Lu Dongyan finally felt satisfied. Walked away holding the cup. I don't know Lu Dongyan. The daily water intake is only this much. Moreover, he took a sip. You must drink first. I really can't take it anymore. Before long, I heard Lu Dongyan's exclamation. He and Fan. The water has been cut off. Han and Fan were momentarily stunned. Hurry to the kitchen. Turn on the faucet. Indeed, I just called out twice foolishly. There isn't a single drop of water. It's almost 10 o'clock now. The bedroom door is closed, too. He glanced at the time with Fan, a bit helpless. Even though it's the weekend, but the main entrance of the dormitory building. It's not possible to keep it on all the time. You need to know. The weather in the south during mid-September. It's still very hot. On a day like this, I don't take a shower. It's simply a form of torment. Why not open a hotel? I called to inquire. After the water supply notification. He can only think of this method. Lube Mansion has been renovated. But with the rented house, it's only separated by a street. The water supply has been cut off in this area. There is naturally no water either. No. Sayo Lior shook her head. She really dislikes going to hotels. Although I only went with Fan once. But even that time, under the mediocrity with Fan, unable to enter the water. In short, I just don't like that kind of environment. Lu Dongyan's unwillingness. Do not force things with Fan. Soon they were ready to go out. Where are you going? Don't buy bottled mineral water. That is used for bathing. It's such a waste of water. The girl followed up. Nuo said. Got it, got it. Go play your game. I will get you some bath water. Remember, no matter who knocks, do not open the door. I brought the keys. I'll be back soon. He pushed the girl back into the room with Fan. She originally wanted to follow, but Han didn't let it happen. The obedient little path can only sit down. Arrived at the restroom. Take 2 LVJ water buckets downstairs. Driving to the riverside. It's a good place to live. Very close to the perfume. Driving for 10 minutes. Just don't go to the riverbank. Filled 2 buckets to the brim with water. They were all placed in the trunk. This is enough for Lu Dongyan to take a bath. Lu Dongyan is in the room. Waited for almost half an hour. I couldn't help but feel a bit restless. When Han was here, I don't feel that at all. But when he left, I feel really upset inside. If I had known earlier, I would have followed along with whatever was said. Went together. I don't even feel like playing girl games anymore. Simply went to the balcony. The small face looked slightly confused. Sinmu gazed blankly at the community gate. At this moment, the car with Fan came into view. The girl excitedly stood on her tiptoes. It was half an hour ago. Those who step on each other together. It's only been such a short time since we last met. You can feel the flutter of your heartbeat. I can't wait to see her. Immediately, the vehicle has stopped downstairs. Lu Dongyan jogged to the door. A pale hand rested on the doorknob, just about to open the door for Fan. Suddenly remembered her housewife. Quickly retracted their hand. Suddenly thought of something. There is a smile in her eyes. He placed 2 buckets of water on the ground with Fan. Take out the key and open the door. Suddenly I was taken aback. The little dear sat obediently at the door. A pair of slippers is placed in front of me. You're back. I'll help you change your shoes. Get up for me. Dai Gua. He held her hand with Fan. Suddenly pulled up. Brush off a bit of dust from her pants. These are dregs. Is it like this? I thought you would like it. Lu Dongyan nodded in confusion. He still searched for it online. What kind of wife does a husband like? Many answers are related to Neon Fuko. So I watched a lot about similar etiquette and things like that. It seems that Jai and Fan don't really like it. Lu Dongyan felt no sadness at all. Upon careful consideration, it seems there has been a bit of a change with Fan, but I can't really say for sure. I like you. That's why I don't want you to suffer." He pinched the chubby cheeks of the girl. Lu Dongyan stood upright, felt a heavy sensation on the cheeks, finally realized what's different about he and Fan now. It is when correcting oneself. You've become much gentler. In the past, I always had a fierce expression on my face. Actually, it's not so unfair. But why won't it be like this any more? Zio Liu spoke obediently, not only unyielding. There was even a slight feeling of disappointment in my heart. When I was kneeling in front of Fan before, lifting his eyes to gaze at her, it seems that a somewhat indescribable wonderful ripple is spreading. If possible, she is willing to greet Fan like this every day when he comes home. If this is to go to the river bank to fetch water. Immediately, the girl then noticed the 2 buckets of water by Fan's feet. I feel a little touched inside. Spent half an hour struggling to bring 2 buckets of water. It's just to accommodate myself. Uh, just boil it and you can take a bath. He and Fan brought water to the kitchen. It's okay if the electric kettle doesn't work. There are still 2 kettles at home. Just a kettle. It takes 3 times to boil a barrel of water. Wait for the 2 buckets of water to boil. It will take some more time. You can still go play for a while. I'll call you when the water boils. Okay. Took a bite at Fan Lu's side profile. The girl sat back down in front of the computer. He and Fan have returned. He only has the mood to play for a while. Otherwise, even the games we usually love, I can't muster even the slightest bit of interest. But the bathtub that Fan bought on the way back in the bathroom. I always took showers while standing before, although this prevents me from washing my hair. But it's okay. Girls don't need to wash their hair every day. Even the clean-loving little dear. I also wash it every 2 days. Long hair reaches the waist. Washing my hair takes longer than taking a shower. Half an hour. Both buckets of water have boiled. After pouring everything into the bathtub, you can't wash it so quickly yet. After all, the water has been cut off. No cold water to adjust the temperature. If you go in now, then it's not going into the bathtub. The little dear is in the pot. By the time it was nearly 10:30 in the evening, Han has been constantly testing the water temperature. I felt it. I think it's about time. Dongyan, come here. It's almost 10:30. After washing up, hurry to sleep. Here it comes. The girl walked in flip-flops, rushed over in a flash. The water has all been used up. How do you wash it? Lu Dongyan saw the bathtub filled to 2/3 with water. Both buckets of water are here. That's why I prepared the bathtub for you. He pouted at Fan, said, but, the little dear was stunned for a moment, reacting back, immediately lowered her eyelids. On the chubby face of the baby, a lovely layer of pink cream rises, as fragile as a blown eggshell. The voice is not good. Senzal. Sure. Our little dear Xiangxiang. He pinched the girl's delicate nose. Stepping out of the bathroom, Lu Dongyan doesn't even know how this quarter of an hour was spent. Like little dumplings all in the bathtub, until finally finishing the wash and changing into pajamas, I came out of the bathroom. I feel dizzy. Jian and Fan quickly went to the bathroom. Even the area behind the ears is a shade of pink. My head is buzzing. Comparing with Lu Dongyan, it's much simpler with Fan. Just rinsed it casually, in less than 3 minutes. She came out of the bathroom, rubbing her hair. The young girl still had her eyes downcast, sitting on the edge of the bed like a glutinous rice ball, obedient like a little enchun. Slept. Fawn baby. He hugged her into the bed, turn off the lights and go to sleep. The wooden bowl on the bedside table is a galaxy, emitting a faint glow. The girl has always been running, whether at school or at home. Looking at this faint light can be done without fan, can still fall asleep. Lu Dongyan felt that he was becoming strange. As usual, with the dual companionship of fan and the wooden bowl, the Milky Way, you should be able to fall asleep peacefully soon. But now being held by he and fan. Instead, I've become somewhat insomnia. One morning, Lu Dongyan got out of bed with dark circles under his eyes. You can sleep a little longer, although he and Fan don't have dark circles under their eyes. But it also led to staying up late, even if Lu Dongyan is carefully sleepless. There was not a sound, just afraid of disturbing Fan. But regarding his breathing rhythm while sleeping, Du, Luru, Zhai, Zhang, and Fan, it's easy to determine. He didn't sleep at all. I want to make you breakfast. We need to follow the rules of acting. Lu Dongyan smiled at the corner of his mouth. As long as I see Fan's face. His fatigue vanished in an instant. Today is a day off, so we can eat breakfast first. Take a break for an hour before exercising. Breakfast. Both of them had a cup of coffee in front of them. I don't need it again. Sleeping soundly. He pursed his lips at Fan. Said, sleeping well also means you can drink. Drinking coffee while exercising can speed up metabolism. It's beneficial for the body. Lu Dongyan wore a sweet, sticky smile. Puh, your heart rate after you fall asleep. I know that too. Next week is the National Day and Mid-Autumn Festival holiday. We can go back to see Uncle and Aunt now. Lu Dongyan's mouth curled into a smile. Although I have not legally married Han Cheng yet, but he has already become family in his heart. We need to watch the road, Mom. He smiled at Fan, spoke softly. The girl's heart warmed slightly. The gaze of Chuenji is somewhat dim. In a whisper, you are also like you. Do you think I'm very well behaved? He is actually a bit scared, afraid that Fan cannot understand me. This is also the reason why he chose not to actively tell Fan. He doesn't dare to understand himself either. After all, most people visit their deceased family members only during Qingming and New Year's Eve, and one's own frequency. It's a bit too high, especially during some low moments. It can even last for several days. You are not behaving well. You are very well behaved. He and Fan gently pecked at the girl's white forehead. The hands were like cradling glutinous rice dumplings, holding the chubby face of the young girl, gently held in the embrace. Patting her back. This is what he knows. The quickest way to calm the little dear, even if the stars lose their brightness. Perhaps to others it seems there is no meaning to existence, just a useless stone. But for the girl, still the stars, her only star. Now, I have a shining star again. The little dear has a soft and sweet voice. Lift your little head. On the side profile of Fan, a faint warmth is sprinkled throughout. Time spent with Lu Dongyan. Time always passes so quickly. But Fan likes the feeling of time flowing like water. Time will not stand still. If it feels like time is passing quickly, that is because of happiness. Days feel like years. It's not a good phenomenon. After marrying Fan in their past life, what is experienced? It feels like a year just to get through a day. So he cherishes the present time and made up his mind. We need to maintain it well. Double festival holiday. He asked for leave a day in advance with Fan. After sending out the holiday red envelopes to the employees, Zai Kaich Sai Lu Dongyan Hui Jaya. It took only an hour and a half to get there. This is the reason for the suspended city. Of course, Fan returned a day earlier as well. Otherwise, it would be a total mess. The two college students from our family have returned. MS Lai was blissfully unaware. Prepared a big table of delicious dishes. It's like the new year, placed in the middle. It's still the old he who caught the fish. She can always catch delicious fish. Never empty. MS Lai responded to this. There has always been praise and commendation, and according to the size of the fish. Give her a little extra money for groceries. Distributing under the pretext of buying alcohol. Lu Dongyan's face could exude the sweetness of sugar-cane juice. The smile is sweet, yet a bit cool. Eating vegetables. Silly deuce. Silly smile. He added a chicken wing for her. Hilariously said. After she returned, Yang Kai's smile never stopped. For the hard-won family. The girl cherished it immensely. Every word of concern from uncle and aunt. It all feels like honey has been poured into my heart. Huh? Does even Dongyan need your approval to smile? Goodness, what kind of days did he spend with you in the provincial capital? Do you bully him every day? MS Lai posed a profound question to her soul. Lu Dongyan's classical language. The face slightly darkened. A sigh of slight disappointment escapes from deep within. If I really bully myself every day, that's good. The girl's face turned pale with a sigh. MS Lai caught him. Okay, Mom. Please start right after finishing your meal. The previous steps can be omitted. I'm tired of it all. Ba Fan expressionless faced Fan. She is too lazy to explain. Give up the struggle. Jiang Ming strictly forbids Lu Dongyan from explaining. That will only get you beaten up even worse. I think we'll eat later. Lai Yan was a bit angry. From Lu Dongyan's expression. This must have been bullied quite a bit. She wasn't joking with Fan. Although the time spent with the future second wife is limited, only a short 3 months. But I have long understood his personality. It's completely a recognition. My son is holding the glutinous rice dumpling. If anyone bullies her, absolutely dare not make a sound. MS Lai can be certain of one thing. My son definitely is not someone who would commit domestic violence. If that's the case, she had to personally put Fan to death. Bullying isn't just limited to physical actions. There might be other possibilities as well. Mong, what are you doing? In the astonished gaze of Fan, MS Lai has already imagined 800 episodes of a drama series. Has already picked up the soup spoon. Now he lowered his head to eat. Just pretend this son doesn't exist. Lu Dongyan blankly raised his little head. What happened? He felt a headache coming on. He indeed discovered something. Since being with Lu Dongyan, MS Lai's level of anger. It has increased exponentially. I've been getting hit since I was a child. It hasn't been this long in the past few months. Auntie, the chicken wings you made are really delicious. What spices are inside? Teach me, please. And this hibiscus fresh vegetable soup. It's also very delicious. The girl leaned against MS Lai. Begins to sweetly act coy. Chicken wings, huh? I added cola. Didn't expect that, huh? It's good as long as you enjoy drinking it. I will serve you Shanghaian. MS Lai had a smiling face. Originally meant to knock on the bowl with a spoon. Once again, she fulfilled her inherent mission. He looked gratefully at Lu Dongyan. This is my good little path. Although the girl did not make eye contact with He Fan. But it seems I can still feel her gaze. Gently tuck the hair behind the ear. Swallow a mouthful of hibiscus soup. The corners of my mouth are busy with smiles. Even at this moment, she still kept the little game with He Fan, eating each bite with great seriousness. National Day. The family just sat there watching TV, passed by while chatting and gossiping. The day after tomorrow, I will go to my grandmother's house for the Mid-Autumn Festival. One early morning, Lao, he and MS Lai went out to choose gifts. He and Fan, would you like to go to the supermarket with me? The girl tilted her head. But every time I go out with Fan, she always clings to me and asks to go together. But if I go out by myself, they would ask Fan for his opinion. Will not force Fan to follow. Joaquin, he stood up with Fan, holding Lu Dongyan's hand. Her inquiry seemed trivial. But it is also a significant change. If it were the previous life, she must go out with Fan by her side. What will happen if you don't agree? He and Fan did not know, because I always agreed. But it's not hard to guess. If you refuse, she is definitely going to throw a tantrum. Where is it like now? Politely asking in advance. Except in the eyes. Beyond the uncontrollable anticipation, will not force it. How could Han bear to? Her expectations fell flat. Actually, it's just a simple trip to the supermarket. I hope she can be happy. You don't need to buy too many vegetables. There are leftovers at home. Tomorrow we will go to Grandma's house to eat for the whole day. What if I bought too much? Let's eat it the day after tomorrow. It's no longer fresh. He and Fan looked at the girl. Make beef, onion, carrots and other ingredients. Put it in the shopping cart. Unintentionally reminded her.